The controversy surrounding Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan's accusations against Nigerian Senate President Godswill Akpabio and her expulsion from the Red Chamber, suspension, I beg your pardon, doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. This is due to the suspended Kogi senator's decision to take a case to a worldwide forum yesterday. Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan has called for justice as she involved the international democratic institutions during the Women in Parliament session at the Inter-Parliamentary Union at the United Nations in New York.
Honorable Good afternoon, President of the IPU. Good afternoon, colleagues. I come with a heavy heart from Nigeria, but first I'd like to apologize to Honorable Kafila Ogbara. I am not here to bring shame to our country. I'm here to seek help for the women of Nigeria. Again, my name is Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. 5 days ago, on the 6th of March 2025, I was suspended. As a senator, I was suspended illegally because I submitted a petition of sexual harassment against the President of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio. I thought that by submitting the petition, he would recuse himself, and both of us will submit ourselves to the Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petition for a fair and transparent investigation. But unfortunately, I was silenced and I was suspended. I was suspended for 6 months, amongst many other stringent conditions, such as taking away my security, taking away all the officials' vehicles and other items that were handed over to me as a senator. My salaries will be cut off. I must not appear anywhere near the National Assembly. And for 6 months, I'm not to introduce myself or present myself as a senator locally in Nigeria or internationally. That means I'm here illegally. But I had no other place to go but to come here and speak to you women, because this is a bigger picture.
Wow, quite a deep conversation there, and joining us to explore the legality or the illegality and the implications of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan's latest action is a senior advocate of Nigeria, SAN, Magaji Mato Ibrahim. Leonard Silk, thank you very much for joining us on the show this morning.
So much for having me. Good morning.
Good morning. I think this is a card that many people didn't expect to see. It feels like we're unveiling different layers of this story. Let's talk about the implication of this appearance, you know, the legality or otherwise. She said in that video that because she's been banned from introducing herself in her capacity as a senator for the next 6 months, nationally or globally, that she's there illegally. What are the implications of her having made this report, and do you think that this would have any influence in the overall decision of the Senate?
Well, I think this has been a very trending issue, and so far we're full with misfeelings on the attitude of the Senate regarding the issue that surrounds distinguished Senator Natasha. But I think most importantly is the fact that the matter itself is sub judice, the matter is in court. But whatever it is that the Union of Parliament of the United Nations can do will also be subject to Nigerian law, and of course the matter which is before the court for adjudication. When you listen to the whole episode, I think one thing that sounds very clear is the fact that she was not given really fair hearing. And I think that has always been my worry and my concern. If there is a petition, it might turn out to be a frivolous petition. Yes, no problem. But I think based on the Constitution, specifically Section 36, that petition ought to be investigated. If it is found to be frivolous, They don't want to do that. Probably based on the rules of the Senate, there might even be a sanction that you have brought the Senate to a ridicule. So you have to face A and B as your sanction and the rest. But to rush, even after assigning the petition to the Committee on Ethics and Privileges for investigation, then you rush quickly and say, okay, because you have disobeyed the rules, you have to leave the Senate, you're on suspension. And I think that is the area that he's also been emotional about. I have brought it. Is it a crime to complain? If I have complained and it's not a crime, then why don't you investigate me? And if you found that I am wrong, then you take the appropriate sanction on me. But to sanction before the hearing, I think that's a clear breach of constitutional right, a fair hearing.
Now, we've heard commentary from the spokesperson of the Nigerian Senate saying, things that happen in the Senate, the court does not have jurisdiction over internal matters of the Nigerian Senate. Does this accusation fall under that purview, and what do you make of this?
Now, very unfortunately, that will not stand. Yes, he might argue very well, and maybe in line with the law also. But unfortunately, rightly or wrongly, the matter has gone to court. There was an order, I was told, restraining them from taking further steps as regards the particular senator. Now, that order might have been issued wrongly, but that doesn't stop it from being what it is, the order of court. Now, you cannot sit in the comfort of your chambers or in your office and decide that the court that issued the order does not have jurisdiction. It takes that same court, based on argument canvas, citing the law by your own lawyer, that, my lord, you don't have the powers to issue this order. And you wrongly issued it, so you are misguided. Kindly set it aside. Or where the court said, I will not set it aside, you go on appeal and have it set aside. But you cannot. You don't have the right to decide to make an order. Because what they said is that the court does not have jurisdiction. And then they decided on their own to violate the order of the court. Well, that is wrong. That is not part of the Nigerian legal jurisprudence. Yes, the court might have issued the order wrongly, but you are not the one who will decide that the order is wrong. It takes the same pronouncement of the court or a superior court, an appeal court, to say, oh, the order issued to her was wrong and is hereby set aside. Then you can go ahead and so I think that is where they got it wrong. Their argument might be valid, but they got it wrong because the law is clear and it is right that orders and judgment of court must be obeyed until they are set aside. Here we have a situation where the order was made and not set aside. And they're already saying on their own. So they are now the appeal court, which is wrong. And this again, they make the law. This is so sometimes it's just that most times in Nigeria we just do things the way we feel. We want it to be done, and then we are not happy each time it goes against us. And that is where we are. That is where we are, and that is why we are always in problem. Otherwise, in a civilized setting, there was a petition, and the petition was submitted to the glare of the general public. Now, like she is even making that argument, it's true. If the petition is against the presiding officer of the Red Chambers, then of course it behoves on him to say, oh, the petition is against me, let me step down, and then someone else preside. He has the deputy.
But they said the petition, they mentioned procedural errors in her presentation of that petition. That's why they said it's dead on arrival.
Yeah, but there was a pronouncement by the Senate President. I listened to that proceeding. There was a pronouncement by the Senate President delegating that particular petition to a committee for investigation. So where is the procedural error? If there was a procedural error, then it shouldn't have even been sent to a committee for investigation. But having done so, it means the Senate itself waived all those procedural errors. Now, since you have already assigned a committee to investigate the matter, it behoves on you to await the outcome. You can influence the speedy investigation and make sure maybe you can even give them 2 days, and say in the next 2 days come back and report to the chambers what your findings is. So you act on it. And then if you found in the course of the investigation that in fact the petition itself has not been brought through the proper procedure, then you can take a stand on it, either to say it's not worthy of investigation, so it's thrown out, or whatever. You see, the whole idea is of fair hearing. The Senate might also not be wrong in their approach, because they say they have rules. But whatever rules they have is subject to the Nigerian Constitution. It's subject to the Nigerian Constitution, and that is the stand. If you found that a particular procedure was wrong, and you have already assigned it for investigation, it is your duty bound to await the investigation, rightly or wrongly. Then again, the same distinguished senator has rushed to court to obtain an order. She might have gone to the wrong court that has no jurisdiction, or in fact, the court has no jurisdiction at all. But that there was another court, like I said before, rightly or wrongly, you obey, and then you now get your team of lawyers, go to the court, challenge that order. Of course, if the law is in your favor, the order will be set aside, and automatically you come back and continue with your. But we're in a hurry, and we paint a very ugly image in the globe, and then we just do things because we feel we are in power, and then that power, we don't even know that power is limited, and then that power will come to an end. So if you ask me my opinion on this, I will fault them on the basis of lack of fair hearing. That is my stand.
I mean, so many angles to that, the lack of fair hearing, the fact that a party must not be a judge in his own course, and we might have seen that play out. But let's talk about, now that she's taking it to the Inter-Parliamentary Union, what are the implications of this? Do they have any influence on the decisions of the Senate? And what picture does it paint of Nigeria's Senate, Nigeria's lawmaking red chamber to the international community?
It is very unfortunate. To me, it's an ugly picture. And then if you look at it, in advanced climes, most times they don't even wait for this issue to be judged. Some of them will just resign and say, okay, there is this allegation against me, and I think I'm not fit to continue my position. But in Nigeria, we have seen so many shameful things happening, and then we don't even have the shame. And that is the unfortunate thing. So that is the global disgrace. Then when you look at whatever going to, at this stage, she is helpless. And you know, when you are sick, you are looking for medicine, wherever you are offered, wherever you are told that you can get help, you rush there. Now, they might not have, I don't know whether there is any inter-regional or intercontinental law that governs the operation of the Parliamentary Union. But whatever it is, if there is no such treaty that Nigeria is a signatory to, then obviously whatever they are doing, they may not have the force of law, but they will have influence politically. And you know very well, no country would like to paint itself badly before the country, the world. So by the time they take a stand at that level, it means that they will be able to probably speak to the Nigerian government and then make the Nigerian government see reason why this matter should not be swept under the carpet like the Senate is trying to do. All
right. Leonard Essien, thank you for your time with us this morning. The next few days we will unravel more with regards to the story, and we'll see whether the Senate will maybe bow to whatever pressure might be coming from the IPU. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you very much.